It's not in
There.
there. It's fine.
No, that's fine.
There,
That's,
they were saying that's how they found their building. Yeah, it's 2016.
Do I have time to run my car?
we're doing okay.
Yeah. Be propane one way or another. Natural gas.
Free money for that man.
Yeah.
Seven.
I guess we're rid of that. Call meeting order. Thank you, Lord, for this day, and thank you for bringing this people to the meeting. Keep your hand upon us. In Jesus' name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes from April 9th, the Board of Aldermen met in regular session with Mayor Hunold presiding. Aldermen present: Renee Edwards, Rick Winter, Dot Cricksizer, Delmer Strange, Ryan Mason, absent none. Mayor Hunold called the meeting to order and gave the invocation. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Minutes of the March 12th meeting were read and approved. Kathy Poor, City Collector, gave her regular monthly report. She provided to the board a listing of the delinquent property taxes. She also presented a list of other delinquent accounts and requested that number 1 and number 2 on the list be written off, which will put them in the bad debt category of the city's billing system. They can still be collected if either of these individuals return to town and request city services. Motion was made by Renee Edwards and seconded by Dot Cricksizer to write off number 1 and number 2 on the list. Motion carried unanimously. Kathy also reported that 97% of the real property taxes and 94% of the personal property taxes have been paid. Peggy Collins, City Treasurer, gave her monthly report. Motion was made by Dot Cricksizer, seconded by Delmer Strange to pay all bills as presented. Motion carried unanimously. Under unfinished business, Mayor Hunold reported that there were no updates on any of the unfinished business. At this time, Mayor Hunold asked Margaret Gibson, City Clerk, to read the certification of the April 3rd election received from Marlene Spory, Knox County Clerk. Following votes were recorded. For Mayor, 2-year term, Eric B. Hunold received 75 votes, Steve Peters 211, and there were no write-ins. For Alderman of the First Ward, 2-year term, David Bew received 76 votes, Renee Edwards 55, Weldon Woodward 5, and there were no write-ins. For Alderman of the Second Ward, 2-year term, Ryan Mason received 48 votes, and there was 1 write-in. For Alderman of the Third Ward, 2-year term, Rick Wilkham received 86 votes, and there were no write-ins. The Edina City question for the local use tax, yes votes were 166, and no were 103. At this time, Mayor Hunold offered his thanks to Renee Edwards for her 20 years of service on the Board of Aldermen. Margaret Gibson, City Clerk, administered the oath of office to the following: Steve Peters, Mayor; David Bew, Alderman of the First Ward; Ryan Mason, Alderman of the Second Ward; Rick Yoakum, Alderman of the Third Ward. There was a brief recess and reception honoring Mayor Hunold and Renee Edwards for their service to the city. Following the recess, Mayor Peters called the meeting to order with the new board seated. Under citizen comments, Philip Spory addressed the board regarding their thoughts on his proposal for developing the city lake property. There was a consensus of the board that they were not in a position to discuss this proposal until everyone had a chance to review it. Under new business, Ed Anderson of Hawkins Harrison Insurance met with the board. He presented the renewal with an 11% increase of the city's current plan for employee health insurance plus an optional plan. Motion was made by Rick Winter and seconded by Rick Yoakum to renew the city's current Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. Motion carried unanimously. The board considered an application for a building permit submitted by Joseph and Deborah Campbell to build a storage shed 20 by 22 feet on their property at 203 East Jackson Street. The motion was made by Ryan Mason and seconded by Dot Cricksizer to approve the building permit for Joseph and Deborah Campbell. Motion carried unanimously. The city currently has a lead ban ordinance, but the Missouri Department of Natural Resources recommended in a recent inspection that the city update their lead ban ordinance. The board reviewed Bill number 7702, prepared by the city attorney, which establishes a lead ban in public and private drinking water plumbing. Bill number 702, proposed ordinance 702, was read by title only, and copies were available for everyone present. Proposed ordinance number 702 was read again by title only. Motion was made by Rick Winter and seconded by Dot Cricksizer to adopt ordinance number 702. Motion carried unanimously. Department reports. Joe Dimmitt, Superintendent of Utilities, met with the board. He presented a copy of Mike's report for the wastewater treatment facility for March. The UV system has been installed and is operating fine, and the upgrades will be coming soon. Joe also reported that his crew has been busy with regular maintenance, such as fixing water leaks, cleaning ditches, and installing tubes. Ryan Bishop, Chief of Police, addressed the board. He said he has been contacting residents personally regarding the upcoming spring cleanup so they can take advantage of it to clean up their properties. Ryan recommended the removal of a stop sign in the 300 block of North Fulton Street. Motion was made by Rick Yoakum, seconded by Delmer Strange, to remove the stop sign on Fulton Street. Ryan also noted that stop signs should not be installed every time there is a complaint or request. Mayor Peters recommended the following appointments: Tom Devaney, City Attorney; Peggy Collins, City Treasurer; Kathy Poor, City Collector; Margaret Gibson, City Clerk; Kurt Goodwin, Emergency Management Director. Motion was made by Dot Cricksizer and seconded by Ryan Mason to approve these appointments. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by David View and seconded by Rick Yoakum to authorize the following to sign checks on the city's accounts: Steve Peters, Rick Winter, Dot Cricksizer, Delmer Strange. Motion carried unanimously. Motion was made by Rick Winter and seconded by David View to appoint Steve Peters to represent the city on the Clarence Cannon Wholesale Water District Board. Motion carried unanimously. Ryan Mason agreed to continue to be the alternate. Motion was made by Rick Yoakum and seconded by Delmer Strange for Steve Peters to be the floodplain administrator for the city. Motion carried unanimously. Renee Edwards is currently representing the city on the Extension Council. Delmer Strange agreed to be the new representative. Motion was made to adjourn. Thank goodness. Motion carried. The meeting was adjourned. Any additions or corrections?
Collections for April 2018. Water, $19,609.83. Sewer, $21,624.82. Sanitation, $14,206.92. General fund, $8,343.11. Recreation, $257.80. Street, $401.88. Special lights, $242.72. Meter deposit, $790. Reserve and improvement fund, $8,949.65 for a total of $74,426.73. Now we're up to 98% of the real estate taxes have been collected and 95% of the personal property have been collected. We have 8 real estate owners that owe for 2 years that will get one final notice from me in June before I turn them over to Brent for sale at the courthouse door. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
Good evening.
You've got your treasurer's report. And it's pretty routine. It's revenue received and revenue going off just almost equal this month. So it's looking pretty good. Do you have any questions about anything at this point? Steve and I met last week and talked a little bit about budget to catch up with what's going on, so if you gentlemen have questions at any time, we can. Okay. We can certainly discuss that. So. You also have a copy of the audit that came in. And let me first say that we are very, very fortunate to have Margaret. She does an excellent job with everything. She's good with details, she knows what has to be done, and she does a good job of it. And we're very, very fortunate to have her with her years of experience. So, the only finding that they have is one that they have every time. Everything else looks very, very good. That's on page 30. And it's a lack of segregation of duties. What they like is to have it divided among enough people that if anything comes up, it would be discovered. And, it's kind of a fraud prevention type issue. Obviously, when you have two people in the office, there's a limited number of things that can happen. So this is a finding that you'll find in every single audit of a small entity. It's just going to be there. The things that we have, done to do that, of course, as a board that you look at things, but I also do a complete report every month and look it over so that we would minimize any problems as much as we can for that. But that's the only finding we have. Everything else looks very, very good. And if you have any questions on that, same thing, I would be glad to answer them at any time. I know you're all going to go home and read it tomorrow. I'll let you know.
Motion been made, second, accept the treasurer's report. All in favor? All opposed? So I think we wanted to jump up here maybe to Mark Twain and have them keep on stuff.
If you want to go ahead.
Permit, by the way, if you don't want to stick around, you don't have to.
So I think everybody's got a copy of
Yeah.
the application.
Building permit.
Building permit.
I have one somewhere. Mark Twain. 12 to 20 concrete shelter, basically what,
And a tower.
that's what it is.
Yeah, and a 200-foot tower.
Slab, yeah.
And the tower.
Well, the tower, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
but it's, I mean, how tall is it?
It's 190 foot with a landing rod. So
No, it's self-explanatory, just putting it right here,
And I think so.
303 Main Street.
you're correct.
Okay, I was going to say.
The high water
I
line.
looked that up on a water tower because I was kind of curious as to how tall 200 people.
It's basically going where the old house is.
Yep.
Tearing the old house down, which right
Tear it
there.
down, level it.
Yeah. That's in the middle of that lot,
Right, exactly.
303 North Main Street there, yeah, so.
Yeah, it never shows for relocating them.
Anybody got any questions about it? That was better than the last time.
John?
The building, where will it be located?
inside the fence, there's 3 squares on there. There's
Be
the
right
property.
at center square is.
The center square is where the tower will be. It will
Yeah.
be between the center square and the second square.
Okay.
So,
This would be fenced off.
That's a
around,
fence,
Right.
correct.
This is just perimeter fence all the way around it, and then that'd be the building, and the tower would be basically right in the center of the lot, that's what it'd be.
Separate from the tower, or?
I don't know where it's gonna be for sure. That's why I didn't draw it in there, but it will be within the fence.
You just run out of room over the water tower, and you just need more.
Yeah, we want more height to get out further, and there's new technologies coming out we'd like to be able to deploy.
I don't, you know. There's all the specs of it, I mean, that's what it is, so. That's what it'll- that's one back thing, this is what it looks like, so.
It's fastest internet we've ever needed.
Hopefully.
For now, it'll change.
Up to you guys, if it makes better, that's fine, unless you got some more questions about it.
I'd say David and Rick.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay.
What was the motion?
To let them build the
Tower.
tower.
Tower and
Yeah.
the building?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. She passes, so. Then we back up there, come on, maybe we'll-
So,
that.
thanks for coming.
Thank you. That's why, well, we moved you up, that way. You know what you wanted to do.
Okay.
Stick around. or not.
So, yeah, monthly bills.
Yep. Not that,
Just have a chance to look at them, maybe.
Yeah, I think they looked at it.
I'd like that one.
Everybody else wanna look at it?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I second
David, okay.
it. All right, that's the bills. Second, all in favor? All opposed? Okay. Okay. All right. Citizens' comments.
I'm a citizen.
You bet.
One is the Chamber of Commerce annual meeting is coming up next month, and I'm so sorry I forgot which day. But I will get a hold of Margaret and let her know when. You guys are members of the chamber, so if you want to send a representative to the meeting, that would be awesome. Or maybe you could double. Do you remember when?
No, I do not.
Okay, it's gonna be at
June 9th,
IDK Cafe, and it's chicken. Shannon's Chicken, and Chamber picks up the meal, so, you know, if you and your spouse or someone wanna come, that would be awesome. And then the other thing is that, I am the new contact person for the Knox County Farmers Market here in Edina. We need more vendors and sellers to,
Don't you think it'll pick up as a produce?
I think
Now
it
it's
will, as
just,
it gets into the
You know, it's
season.
from the flowers and just, you know, baked goods and stuff, so.
We had a reorganizational meeting with as many vendors as we could round up, and they decided unanimously to switch the day from Thursday morning time until Friday, kind of a longer, it starts at 11 a.m. and goes until 7 p.m. Some of them are getting there later and staying later. Some of them arrive early and leave early. We haven't seen anyone stay throughout the entire part of it, but we just wanted to open it up and just give people the opportunity to do that. It is still free for vendors and sellers. We ask that anyone from outside Knox or a county touching Knox to just get approval beforehand. anyway, I can drop off some flyers here at City Hall, and we also have new forms that they need to fill out, and we are going to keep on file. So I will give you a stack of those also, Margaret, and also we have vendor guidelines, guideline information, and the website is knoxcountyfarmersmarket.wordpress.com. And there's also a Facebook page. So we really want to open it up to have other things going on Friday evenings down, the Edina Town Square. So if you can think of anyone or anything that would like to come down and be part of that, that would also be awesome. I think that's all.
Thank you. Anybody else? Got anything you want? Okay. Oh, okay. Bring us down. Philip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did y'all have a chance to look over that proposal and read it? What'd y'all think of it?
Well, I guess I'll start. I think it's a great proposal. I think it's wonderful put together. That's a great idea. But my concerns is, even if you get grants to fund this, who's going to take care of it? Who's going to take care of it? Who's going to the mowing? Who's going to do the like that?
So
That's
the
what-
theory or the thought behind this is that with the camping and the rental of the boats and the miniature golf, that would pay for somebody to be out there to maintain that property. But also with grants and funding, they do provide some grants in the past have provided for help for like a year or two. And then once it gets going, then, it'll build on itself. Didn't Chase Bernizer come up with something a few years ago about golf course, and he found a grant to do that would staff it for 2 years at one time? I don't know if there's anybody that was on the board. You remember? Renee, was there anything like
I
that?
don't remember that.
Okay. Well, I thought he had come up with a proposal like that a couple of years ago. Okay. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know, like on a running trail or something like that, you can get health, like a health
mhm.
grant.
There is a grant for the health, for the walking trail.
Yes, for that.
This is on the internet. There's a walking trail grant, it's 2088, they pay 30% of it. And the non-profit organization pays 20% of it. I mean, and they get more detail on it, and we found out on the internet too. So, I mean, there's things out there for it. They would go to walking trail. I mean,
80%.
yeah, they pay for 80%, we pay 20%. There's something for people to do, and
There are things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
there's people something to do in town. I mean, there's nothing to do in the town. We get some kids to do something to do. I mean, it's not just, yes, it may cost money, but bring people to town to do and keep people in town and give some kids something to do.
And I understand your all's concerns with it, but we're just wanting to look right now to see what funding and grants we can get, just to see what's out there. We I know it looks like a big undertaking and a big bill, but we don't know till we look to see what we can actually get as far as funding. Then that's kind of where I would like to go. I would like to look on the city's behalf for funding for this.
What kind of phase are you planning on trying to do something? Because you can't go out there and just do all of it at one time. I mean, you're gonna have to just do something.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. Well, Ryan and I talked about that a little bit. Bring in
Just do something
the
small.
low cost things first. The camping, the volleyball, the walking trail, the swimming area.
Swimming area, I mean, it could be insured for $1,200 a year. I mean, that's just for what the city has to pay for it. Pavilion is $3,500 for just the supplies. The same volleyball or swimming area is, I looked at it, it's $5.35 a ton, and all to get there is $13 a ton right now. I mean, gives people something to do and bring people to town.
So you're talking a swimming area also? So who you can have lifeguards,
You
right?
don't, the insurance you don't have to have a lifeguard bill. And you put signs up.
So that, that's
Yeah.
no liability whatsoever. If
I
somebody
mean,
drives
Ben
up
does
there.
it, Holden does it. I mean, other towns do it, well, I mean, why can't we do it, you know?
It goes back to, just like Hurdler, Seaver Lake. They got it fixed up really, really nice. They spent a lot of money, but it's free. And they have income off Seaver Lake. They have cash rent crops. They have hay they cash rent. We don't have that. We don't have that guarantee. Wait just a minute, Eric. Okay, but we don't have that guarantee of any money out there. We don't have that guarantee that, yeah, that group's going to take care of the moment. We don't, but Eric, okay, Eric wants to say something.
You do have the hay income off of it every year.
It's
Minimal, I understand. But you are gonna get some
count
foot
on the
traffic.
hay if you're going to start putting ball fields and stuff in this place. It's
Well,
just
That's not
not
till
yet.
later in the
it's not that.
stage. What I'm getting at is if you're gonna put the ball fields in, possibly stage 3.
Yeah, it'll be later down the road.
You're more than welcome to go look at what Jacksonville, Illinois is doing, or Kirksville, for instance.
How much is the hay?
2,000.
Okay, we have $2,000 worth of hay crop. Okay,
I understand that.
we just spent almost $1,800 on Rocker Road. There's hay money gone. We just spent
That's what we-
$1,733
That's what we get to meet together, try to get something
to
started.
rock the road, let alone. So
We
there's,
understand you don't want this, Steve. We understand that wholeheartedly.
I mean,
But what we're asking for is the ability to go ahead and look on your behalf as a city council for whatever grants are out there for you all. At least let's go find the grants before you say no.
I guess I'll just go around the table out, but what's your opinion on it, Dummer?
Well, I kind of like yours, it'd be nice. Where's your money come?
$257 a month we get out of our cigarette tax.
How much?
$257 a month
Or,
recreation fund.
yeah, see, it's not there. Doc,
I think checking into it's fine, as long as we don't commit to anything. You know, we're not promising anything, we're just checking it out. Why not just look?
That's all we're asking.
what's your opinion?
I think it'd be a good thing for the community. I mean, I think it gives something for somebody to do, because I know a lot of people walks around Edina, around the streets and everything, but I'm like you guys, I don't know, I don't think you can fund it, so, but I'd be on board to let you do some investigating, see what kind of grants you can get, and then see how long we can keep it operating before.
I mean, this is like thing he says is, they're not holding nothing looking. I mean, when people start doing, it's not just for the city, other people will donate stuff, other people donate time and supplies and anything else. I mean, I'm no offense of them looking at grants, looking at how to fund it. It gives people, I mean, like I've said already before, I mean, it'll give someone to do, because right now, what do you do in town? I mean, there's nothing to do, especially in the summertime. Not everybody's a member of Band White, you know. There's a lot of kids, people around here, not many people never or something, they go out there and do something.
I'm not against looking for funding, but I think there is a lot of other things to be doing in town.
I mean, the people that look for the funding is not working for it, I mean, it's the people in the community that wants it, you know.
Well, I would like to, I've kind of prioritized some of the things that I think we could do with minimal cost, like the floating docks, and maybe a camping area, just primitive camping, down the road, a nature trail, I think would be something peaceful. But I'm kind of the same way. I guess I'm guilty because I've been on city council for a while, but the city park, last night I was out at Assembly of God Church, there was kids playing basketball out there. Go down the park and there's nobody there.
Take care of what we got and we fix up what we have in town. But, so even if you go to camping ground, who do you expect, say you put in primitive camping, who do you expect to mow it, take care of that? Like right now, you went up and said, we're gonna put in primitive camping. Who do you expect to mow
You
it
guys
now?
mowed already? I mean, it's already mowed, isn't it? You guys mowed out there just city mow around it, I mean, they're already doing it, so, I mean,
You mow out around all the clubhouse and all that's already mowed.
yeah.
We
It's
never
been mowed
did it
3
fast,
times.
but I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
it's only mows nice out there.
that's it.
When they had the building rented out, they took care of it. You know, they don't do it no more.
So what are you wanting from us tonight?
I just want the okay to look. I want you all to tell me that I can go and dig around for funding and to see if it's out there
With no commitment.
with no commitment. But I would also like it to be to where while I'm looking for funding, you're not gonna maybe do something out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to all this hard work and then put it out here and be like, oh, well, we decided. Give me just a little time, if you would, to look for funding. I guess I should say that.
We'll rent it out for hay.
Well, yeah, I understand that you're written out for hay, but before you decide to rent out the building for something else or lease the building to somebody else again or something, just, give me some time to look. It's going to take me just a little time.
Have you been out there and looked at the building?
Yeah.
It's pretty much shot in.
No, you guys put a roof and siding and windows on it and a deck on it a while back. It's really,
Inside is,
It's actually in better shape than most of the councils.
yeah, it's really not bad at all.
It's people.
Yeah, you guys did a bunch of work to it here about a year, last 2 years actually.
I think that church helped us out.
Yeah, they
It
did
was
it.
the Knox County Community Development Corporation did it.
Oh, okay.
They're not
They
there
spent
yet.
about 30 grand, maybe
They're not there
40,
anymore.
Well, no, they're not even.
fixing up that building, putting the roof on, doing the deck.
Say that again, 'cause I didn't hear how much was spent on it.
That wasn't worth it.
Philip?
Yeah.
Ever had mentioned anything or what, have you guys ever looked at like a sales tax?
That's not my department to look into.
It's funded.
Well, I thought you were looking.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can look into that, but I mean, as far as sales tax, that would have to go through you all and then have to go through a vote to
Right.
do that. But
Right.
I mean,
Sales tax is probably never gonna come to fruition any time. We're already
We got the
Alright,
lowest
good.
tax rate.
We're already one of the highest tax rates in the area. I really think that if we can go ahead and do it in 3 parts, find the funding. Whether you guys choose to do it or not, we just want the ability to find the funding for you on your behalf.
And I think Philip cares about the community, or he wouldn't be doing this free will. He's done all this on his own, not getting a dime, any of this research. He's done it all free. So he cares of the community. He's really trying to help the city out, I think.
I understand your reserves. I really do. I honestly understand your reserves. Looking at the budget, you know what I'm talking about, Steve. But if you can find 80% of the budget to do that free, the revenue that you possibly could bring in will offset the 20% I believe you have to come up with. The revenue, go out to Hurdle and look and see how many people go out there camping. You'd be amazed.
But it's free. There's no income. They don't have no income.
You're right. And they don't come to town. They don't buy no soda. They don't buy no gas. They don't buy anything. They go to Hurdling in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of nowhere. You're a mile and a quarter.
Well, you're
from
like
town.
saying we're charging the people to go camp out there and stuff like that. Why do they want to go pay? Well, they'll just go to Herdman for free.
They're not gonna pay to camp out there if they
people
can
go to Halstead's and pay. People go to Arbela and pay. What do you do at Arbela? Sit there around that pond.
One thing I do is I eat.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Right
The
there.
people, you all go up to Halstead's. Yeah,
We've been to Canton.
yeah.
Weekend before last, and we pay to go there, of course.
Yeah.
And you have the river and the barges, and we go into town, we go to Quincy, we fiddle around.
You guys are talking about oranges and we're talking about apples. Apples is, in our proposal, we're gonna try to find you power, or at least a source where you can distribute your wastewater into a pit. To a truck you already have, pump it in, take it through your sewer system. With water. Hurdling, you don't have a bit of that. You have one shelter house with power.
They're in process right now.
They're, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And I bet it isn't gonna be free forever when they do that
Pumping
either.
water and everything. And so.
Camping is starting to really be a booming thing. And I think things you're gonna find is gonna be used more than even myself realize, I think.
So you're just wanting us to vote whether to let you pursue.
Yeah.
But for 3 months,
Give me,
to say, oh, we come up with this funding, we can do this, we can do this.
Give
And
them
then we
time.
can vote whether we want to even do it at all.
Yeah. it's not costing you a dime. It's all me looking to see if I can get the funding, and then I'll present it to you guys, show you what I did find, and then we'll go from there. But give me more than 3 months.
Put nothing in out there now. I'm not gonna do anything right now.
No, I'm not doing anything.
No campgrounds, no nothing right now.
No, that's on you guys. I'm just looking to see what
It's
funding.
no legwork.
Yeah, I'm just doing the legwork. I'm
You
just.
can leave a leg without legwork for free.
I go,
I mean, is it is it too far off to think that we have to do this entire proposal, or can we just do parts of it?
Oh, you don't have to do any of it or all of it. That was just the proposal.
You know, as
all
far
can
as
take it
like
apart. I don't-
like the walking trail. I don't know. We were in Columbia yesterday, or not the other, last week, and we stopped at one of their parks. I don't know if you've ever been to any of the parks in Columbia.
Taking trail.
I've never been to that one, but we went to
No, that's not.
it was the Stevens Lake Park.
Yeah.
Oh man, and they've got just a swimming beach and a really nice concrete trail. And those things that shoot water, which I think that would be,
Spray ground.
I don't think that's in our ballpark, but just that by itself with some really nice benches all around there. And I mean, people were,
Yeah, they got an open grass field where they can play frisbee and football and soccer, and yeah, it's
like, I get that it's gonna cost some money to do some things, but I think there's a lot of things in that bank of ideas that you've got there that might be minimal cost wise, might be feasible grant wise, like really feasible. Like there's a lot of health and fitness, walking trails and things like that are really big. And just as somebody who lives here, trying to just be neutral, but I would love to have somewhere like that, Stevens Lake Park, to take the kids, where it's like a nice big beach and they didn't have a lifeguard on duty, and, nice places to sit around, maybe somewhere, places to fish. I don't know if we need to build Disneyland down there, but just something nice, a little bit more than what we've got. I think that could go a long way. I think the community might be supportive enough to kick in on it too.
I go to Marceline about every other weekend, and they have a wonderful walking trail around their lake. Beautiful. And they have a small ball diamond. They have a huge, massive pool that they enclose in the wintertime. But I understand that's something the city probably couldn't ever handle. But it is really, if you're ever toward that direction, it's a really nice one to go look at. Have you seen it, Joe?
I have my opinion. If anybody else does. I think it's a great idea to have some camping, maybe some picnic benches, shelters, something like that. But what really concerns me is the lack of disrepair that our current park is in. And I'd like to see some funding, maybe to redo the ball court, or, maybe do something different with the tennis court. Make it,
We just still make thunder rain.
a lot of work.
Make it
that needs to
usable
happen
anyway.
to the current park that we have. But I think the camping and some of the lower cost items, I think that's.
No selfies, no.
would be good.
I see it. Looks good. Now we
So-
can somebody use it.
Everybody hear what Ryan says?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm in favor with him looking for the funding, and like I say, as long as it's.
yeah, if you make, to worry, basically, we're not gonna do anything.
I mean.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything till I show you everything that I've come up with. Yeah.
Right now, basically nothing, until we.
You got 3 votes so far.
So do we have consensus then? A consensus of the board?
I mean, I guess we'll better vote on it.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
not-
it.
we're not
What you gonna vote on it?
I
So
said
you can
go.
pursue
So I can look. Yeah, on
Just
on the city's behalf.
if you
Yeah.
can be some funding found. And we're not gonna do anything to it right now to jeopardize what we might want to do with it down the road. 3 months or 4 months
No.
is what I'm saying. You don't know what we're gonna do with it. You don't know. But I'm just saying,
Now,
that's,
would it be okay if I have till the end of the year, being as it's already May,
that's why.
till the end of the year?
They won't do nothing else with it. I mean, it's still sitting there.
I mean, that'll give me some time to look. I mean, granted,
Takes a lot more
I do
time
work
to get
full-time with a
funding.
part-time job and other things, so I mean, I'm gonna need a little time.
It's not like we're doing anything with it.
Okay with that?
No. It ain't gonna do nothing now. We're gonna collect hay off hay anyway. It's already tied up. We can't do nothing. It'd be the only thing be the building. But
I'm good with
what if we rented that building now? Cause we rented it out if somebody wanted to just rent it for a 2-day deal.
That's fine. I just don't want you leasing it to somebody,
Yeah.
for like a long-term deal while I'm doing this. Yeah, that's my reservation on it. Yeah.
We tried renting out for the last 2 years. No one looked at it but me.
Only concern
I had 3 or 4 people ask me about it. And I thought, well, the church is still in it.
Supposed to have been for how long? A year and a half?
2 years.
Short.
They haven't been very good.
I haven't been in there in 2 years.
But everything's good. There's nothing in there. It's good.
I was looking at it.
Push me
I was
down.
looking at it. Yeah, inside of it.
Rural water.
Everybody needs-
Yeah,
Took see if we could fix
I was looking at
it.
the bank.
I'm gonna say, didn't I see a water bill?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's in- Yeah.
Anybody that works in the county, they can get one.
Make a million.
There you go. I'm just saying.
I'm cheap.
It could happen.
Money talk.
I'm interested in this next item.
So, is there a consensus
Somebody
then?
I guess we'll make a motion. I make a motion that we
Or if there's just a consensus?
It's like
pursue or go for.
You need to fill me?
All right, good. All right, thank you.
Be back with us.
Quick.
I guess let's make a motion to make it, everybody, might make a motion.
All motion it.
I'll
Okay,
second.
Rick.
That you're gonna pursue it, right? That's what it is.
We gonna give it till January?
Then you might
Yeah.
figure out a better layout of how you're gonna do things. Like where the trail go, or like where you want the campsites. I know it's in that paper, but you're gonna have to do a lot of dirt work to try to get it where you can do it in 3 phases.
I'm telling you, it's feasible, ain't no way.
I'll look into it.
Not all of it, the small stuff we can do.
It's there, yeah, I'll look into it.
Do whatever you want. Vote on that if you want.
We're done.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to the STEM. I'm interested.
Any opposed? Okay, who's in favor? Everybody, okay? All right. Debbie,
I'd start with a joke, but it seems like a tough room tonight. Okay. First, before I say anything, I just want to say that I went down the hill before I came up here, and there was 10 to 15 cars at the park and like 30 people in the pavilion. So
Good.
there's 30 people who stayed in town
that's what we
tonight.
should be taking care of. Is that down there?
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this really quick. It'll be fine, Dave.
Everything was good down there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything was good.
Okay, so I don't mean to give a speech, but I just kind of a public speaker. So the most exciting memories that I can remember when I was a kid was going to the park with my mom and dad. Some of the most biggest memories I have with my kids is taking them to the park. I kind of want you to look at me more as an Edina, a person who lives here and not one of your employees at this point. I have 2 kids. They're older now. So the only part of the park that they really use is the basketball courts, and they need to be fixed. When I was fixing the park and painting everything, I had a lot of time to think. And I kind of thought about how, as much as everybody looks at our park and is like, oh, that needs fixed, think of the park in Bering, think of the park in Novelty, and think of all the other parks of the towns that don't have the tax revenue or the truck revenue or the things that we have. Like our park is disarray, but there's other parks in Knox County that are too. So I came up with an idea that would not only help us and keep people coming to Edina, but help other towns too. I suggest that we have an annual concert in the park in the spring. And I chose the spring because we have Cornfest in the fall. So what I would want to do is have it in our park every year because our park is fenced in. So then you could charge admission. You could charge an admission for people to come. My funding would come from, I'm pretty positive with this idea that I could get businesses to sponsor because they would want their name to be a part of this. I went to Grow Knox County and gave a big speech to them, and I think that they liked it. And I didn't really know until I read their minutes that they sent in my email that they endorsed me and said that they would support it. Just support my choice. I'm coming to ask you because it's our park. And I'm the first park that because it's my idea, the first park I wanted to take care of as we continue to take care of ours this year. I wanted to do something with the park on the other side of town. And the reason that I'm coming up with this idea is because park equipment is expensive. And we have roads to fix and other towns have roads to fix and they have things that they need done that are bigger on the agenda than a slide. But I think that parks keep people in town, just like tonight. Those people could have went to McDonald's with their kid or not Chuck E. Cheese, but that place in Quincy for birthday parties. But I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, there's been quite a few birthday parties down at our park, which means those people might have shopped here and got their soda here and their ice here. And they left the park clean. And it was really nice. What I would do is I would have a person from each town be on like a little committee so that every town feel involved. I think there's 7. I'm not really sure. But I would have all of us get together and we'd plan this. It would be at no expense to the city. It would be all or the community paying for it. And then all the proceeds from that concert would go to the park. I think I said that twice, but that's my idea.
You would pick a park,
No, every year it would be here.
but no, the proceeds.
Oh, yeah. What we would do is like put them in the, like draw a name out of a hat. And then once your park's been done, then your name gets pulled out of the hat. It gets down to every park would be done. And then if it's still going and still doing great when all the parks are done, we could put in a roller coaster. Okay, I'm just kidding. We could start over again because parks need daily, constant maintenance. Kids are rough.
You had mentioned at one time even that somebody putting on the concert might be some local young
Yes.
people, young talent.
Yes, I had actually talked to.
Like that stuff all the time normally.
Hmm?
I said, usually people volunteer, you can get people to.
Well, I don't know if any of you have heard Kylie Wood sing and Wyatt Reeves. He's from Brashear, but Kylie is Leslie and Linda's daughter. She's amazing. And she said that they would do that. And I thought because it was a park and it was towards the park that it would be cool if we had kids do that and not some crazy rock band or
Right.
it would be something that was based towards families and not people sneaking beer into the park.
Kid funded.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do you have a date?
No, because it's not gonna be just me. It's gonna be 5 to 7 other people. So we'd have to sit down and figure it out. I'm thinking May of next year. So
That's all you need from us.
I just need an okay for us to use the park for this.
I mean, it's.
But I do think we
I
need
think we need to go
to do some
further.
work on it beforehand.
Just fast.
Well, this is
Yeah.
next year.
Mhm.
We've looked at the lights to figure out what's up with the lights and
Well, I like to have that done by summer anyway. The lights, the ball field, we can put a drain or something with it.
Yes.
whether you can use it.
Keep the courts cleaned up.
Yeah, it won't cost nothing. Very little. You know what the basketball court is? As long as I know that court, east side stands underwater. If we just take a tile, drain tile or something and dig around it. And actually, I see the other day that the west side of it holding water. And it's got drains on each end, so all we could just put a drain outside to catch the water.
Because it just sits alone, that basketball, and then they tried to do two things, I thought it was a good idea, but.
Well, the whole time it's settled and everything else, so, you know, that's how it works. And the light issue, I don't know about it, I'll have to have somebody check it out, but I think we had light down there, I think a lot of kids would go down and they would use it.
Maybe even put another basketball goal, maybe around one of the tennis ones, because the tennis is hardly ever used.
I think you probably should appoint someone to be a representative, you know, of the city for the park department to see if some of these businesses around would be willing to, you know, donate time and materials and different things to improve our park. You know,
We need to fix up what we have.
just because like what we're talking about, you know, with the tile and the lights and everything, it's money that we don't have in our recreation fund. I think it'd be a good idea. I mean, if Deb or somebody else wanted to be a representative of the city to go around the different organizations, businesses, you know, people in the community, I mean, and, you know, with this concert idea, and do different events, you know, to try to improve what we have.
I know that in the past, like the shop kids have fixed some of the equipment, those little writing things, and rewelded them and fixed them. And I think I got the art class on board to help me with the. I want to put Edina City Park on the side of the bathroom where you pull in. So I mean, we always have certain things, and the honor society the honor society at school. They're supposed to help me redo the lines on the basketball court and things like that. So we have like people around town, and most of the time it's the school kids. But I feel like if we have the school kids clean it up, they're a little bit easier on the equipment. So
Pick up after yourself.
they, you know, honestly, we've left the bathroom open. We've left toilet paper in there and everything. And every day we check it, and it's not been trashed yet. I mean, I know it's only May. Sure it's gonna happen a time or two.
Well, they used to, and somewhere along the line they quit doing it. They used to, they locked it.
When I first worked for the city, we always locked the park at night.
Yeah. You lock it 11 when kids are gone.
Well, and I meant to
the next
ask
morning,
Ryan if
when
that
Joe
would be a
comes
thing
or
we could do
somebody
again.
from the city, when they get to open at 7:30. And because that's when the problem is at night, it's not during when somebody's down there. So, but somewhere along the line, they kind of quit doing that. You know, we could get back into probably doing that. So
Yeah.
that would eliminate the problems on stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Because it's not done when people's down there having a picnic and stuff like that. It's done. Just driving us in summer, getting in school is gonna be out. And there'll just be, you know, more people, kids having nothing else to do, I guess. So, but we might have to see about, you know, couldn't be a problem.
As long as somebody can, you know, would be there to unlock it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Jerry used to.
We're there at 7 in the morning.
Coming to work.
Well, you got the weekend. You know, Saturday, Sunday.
Supper ready?
It's over.
So. I don't see a problem with that, but now it's up, you know. Yes, I think it's a good idea anytime you have something.
Give it a shot anyway.
Have something.
Second.
Ryan, second. All in favor? All opposed? Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
Very good. Very
Keep
good.
us updated.
I will.
Joe.
We've got Mike's report here. Everything's still working. It's down there. Oh, been out all the, meeting all the standards and everything, it's just fine. We did have to spend some extra money on the UV system that really wasn't planned, but luckily we had put enough money in to cover what the original cost that we didn't have to spend. So I think we were out at like $100 over cost. but it is working just as good as new now. It is E. coli went clear to no detect in 2 days, where it's working pretty good. So everything down there I think is going good. And my crew has been trying to get some of the road crews cleaned out. And I know it doesn't look like we've made it far, but we've used a lot of water. They're in bad shape. And by the time you get a road too flowed out, you gotta haul half a dump truck of rock and dirt away because they're so full from all the years of not being done. We've got done a little bit of ditch work here and there. Like I said, the usual stuff. Mowing in the park, maintenance. Deb's been doing a lot of painting in the park, and we got everything really looking good. We're keeping the grass all mowed up. And I think everything's looking good. A lot of compliments coming from around town. People that are in the park compliment on it. There's been a lot of people using it. The lighting was on my list for tonight. If we're gonna fix the lighting, we're gonna have to find some money. We're gonna have to find $2,500, $3,000 worth of money to replace everything down there pretty much. You can make them work. You can shove the starter in and make the lights come on, but the meter about burns itself off the pole. It's got a short somewhere in there. So I'll, get something going and get some people down there to check. Yes.
My smart guy told me once, or just told me last week about putting a sensor up so that they wouldn't have to pay for it, or when people would walk on the court, the lights would come on.
A motion sensor. You could also put a timer in that would only work from certain hours to certain hours.
They already had that in there one time, didn't
I had a quarter machine in there.
they?
You quarter paid, you got so much for a quarter. But you can put a timer in it to where it would only run from 7 o'clock to 10:30. And
They'd be on all the time.
They would be on from 7 to 10:30. But there's a problem with the meter spinning is there's a short. It goes so fast you can't keep track of what it's doing. But it's all shot.
Just like out the school, high school gym.
It's gonna take some money.
I think that just confirms what some of us already knew. I mean, because when Ty was here, they checked into everything and they.
Eric, you've got something on, more about the electricity, but what we can do there and stuff. I mean,
along with LED lights, take down the inefficient halogens you have. You can actually put in a manual timer so it'll only go 30 minutes on, so they'll keep it on all night. Some of the walk-ins, you can push the button and they can come on all night. I just know that when you turn the meter or the breaker on for just the lights around the basketball court alone, it turns about like what your house does with 2 window units that are running. And then when you jump the starter across, it's been faster than anybody's head you ever seen. It's got a direct short on one of the lines. It's 240 feet. As I look at the lights without getting up there and looking at them from the bucket truck, it is grossly inefficient. And what you're going to have to do is replace the meter head down all the way to the lights. No, it's all underground.
It's all under concrete there.
It's all under concrete. There's no good.
David Hardwick has worked with it before, but it's all under concrete.
So who'd you get your estimate from?
I haven't got an
That's good.
estimate. I
Just
just
guesstimate.
Yes, very good guess. Yeah, just guessing it's gonna cost.
Yeah. I don't know if you switch to LED lights, though, they don't take nothing to run them.
Then it doesn't matter if you leave them on from 7 to 10. It'll cost $2 a night to run your lights.
Exactly.
When you got no power pulling through it anyway, and you're still spinning your meter,
Yeah,
you got problems.
yeah. You just flip the breaker on. Like Eric's saying, you flip the breaker on, you don't even push the starter and the meter starts turning.
They're dead short somewhere.
And then you push the meter in, like you push the starter in with a stick, and it just goes just that fast.
Yeah.
So.
are you thinking how much to fix that?
All I would say would take $2 to $3,000. I mean, that's just a guess. We'll have to get people down there to give us some form of an estimate.
Get some lights.
Call a couple different electricians and have them come down and give us some estimates, and then I can bring this up again next month or before. I can turn something into you and you guys can get together.
They donate stuff.
Is that?
Hammer, would they be interested in?
I don't know. They could probably come down and have to hook a lot of stuff up, but I don't know what they do.
I would personally not put overhead. I would leave it all underground. I mean, it's gonna take extra time and extra work, but I would trench around and leave it underground. I wouldn't put overhead in the park.
I wouldn't either. That's just
asking for trouble.
Yeah.
But I can try to get a hold of a couple electricians or, or something.
But
and
we're at now, but
get an idea.
Get an idea.
On to whatever you guys want me to get a hold of.
That would be tough.
Well, we have a description of our actual project.
The problem is we're gonna need a description
Yeah, so it might be a starting point, like you
To
said,
get-
for you
yeah.
to just get somebody to go down there with you and
Yeah.
get an idea of what.
That's what we're gonna do.
And there
Because
is
I
no
agree.
lights in the, not to change subject, but the shelter houses,
There's power there, but I don't know if it's
they've
where
all
it
been
comes from. It
knocked
may
off.
come from the same spot.
But as far as lights,
They don't work. There's no power there. There's wiring there. I should say there's, the wiring's there. I can't get any power.
Okay.
And I can't figure out where it comes from. I don't know if it comes from the other breaker that's in there that's unhooked. Do you know, Eric? Is that what it is? It's the one that's unhooked? Okay. So if that's something you all would like for me to do, I can kind of get the ball rolling on some of that. Because I agree it needs to be fixed. We had a person in here, just a week ago or something, Margaret, that's wanting to have a birthday party deal down in the park, and they need some power.
Yeah, they were asking about electricity.
Yeah, and we don't have any for them now.
And we used to have, at the shelter houses, used to be able to plug in
Yeah,
crock pots.
Like I said, there was.
Family
last year.
reunion.
Yeah, you couldn't have a family union and have a couple crock pots or nothing going right now.
Can't have nothing now, so.
well, if we do the lights,
Yeah.
do the ones, the can lights inside the ceiling,
They don't
so
break
people don't knock.
Yeah, well, that's something.
If you go out all LED, they're all inside anyways.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I just think we need to get somebody down there and see if they, somebody come give an estimate of what we need. That's,
Okay,
we gotta start somewhere,
Right.
I can do that.
just see where we're at. That's all you can do.
Okay. I guess the other thing I have is Steve had come down and talked to me a little bit about this a while back, about kind of splitting up the town a little bit into some sections and trying to figure out a better long-term plan for the roads. So this is what I've came up with. I've had it drawn out in a couple different ways. The numbering is not the order by no means. I just wrote numbers up there. It can be done in any order, jump back and forth, whatever. But what I would like for any of you to do is look at it, tell me what you think. Obviously, first stage of every section would be ditching and evaluating the roads and deciding which ones needed just repaired, which ones needed resurfaced. There would be all that. But then I would like to make some main routes that we know we're gonna go the extra step on. Some roads across town the full length or something that we're gonna go an extra step on. We're gonna make sure it's done, completely resurfaced and done right, or to the best of our ability. So that the ones that don't get resurfaced have got a good road they can get to within a block. So that, if you go through and kind of mark it, maybe in your ward, of what you think we should do. This is just a map. I'm open to anybody's ideas. I think this is just kind of so I think this is what Steve was asking for.
That's what I was talking to Joe about it. When you start in, and you're gonna run over here and fix the street, you're gonna run over here and fix the street, you're gonna run over here and here and here and here. You get done, you'll never catch yourself. if you take your money and concentrate, fix that section, fix it right, you ain't gotta go back to that street for 3 or 4 years. You know, this jumping in, chipping and patching here and patching there, you gotta fix some streets, you gotta patch them the best you can, but I would think it would be better to,
Well, there's some
if you're gonna
streets,
spend 35 or 40,000, I'll put it all over here and fix this section right.
there's some streets in town that you're just not gonna be able to cover, to repave because they have high traffic of heavy
Yeah.
trucks.
Absolutely.
And you'd be wasting your time.
Our main streets,
You leave them like they
CNR, and like up through here.
Up around the
you know.
business area, around Main Street and around the courthouse and the businesses and down around past the Blue Room and the bank and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could spend some extra time and some extra money making that more eye-appealing.
There's also some alternative routes that semis could be using instead of going down the
Mhm.
MPs or, there could be a route that they could go different directions.
That this is your route, this is the one you have to use.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way when we resurface other roads,
Is there?
we don't lose them. But
Well, how many streets you think we can do on like financing on?
Right now, you got
uh,
$35,000 in the street fund.
Yeah.
That's, don't go very
Oh,
far.
I don't.
no,
I mean, there's other money there we can take and get to buy material with, but as far as just in the street fund, that's not, that doesn't, when we can put to it, let's pay you, show me what we can take out of the, general funds and whatever, and buy material, but, we can only, we just wanted to be in there, we got somewhere, we've got to kind of try to work up to where we can start putting more money back into that street fund. We've got to build it up some way though, because that's what everybody sees. I mean, we've got on them, they patched them, you guys have done a great job, you're getting juggles filled in and stuff, that's wonderful, but when it comes down to, we're gonna have to
Maintain them, take
You know,
care of them.
gotta get the ditches.
we need to try to get that up to where we have $60,000-$70,000 a year to spend on streets, or something. And it's just, it just doesn't buy, this day and age, it doesn't buy, give what that check was the other day, but we didn't get much materials for
Oh, right.
$2,000 some dollars, $2,500, something, we couldn't buy much. I think we can probably mix our own down there in the map, we can save a lot of money by doing that, by getting rock in and doing it. We can make our own. It's considerably cheaper than buying it off Laughlin's. Probably can cut it close to half.
We'll just have to get all the material, the prices of the material. I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna depend on what the prices of material
Sure.
and the man hours.
Labor, yeah, that's what bites you.
Yeah, figure the man hours, so.
But that's just, this was just something Joe and I talked about the other day. It's just something that,
I think that's a good idea.
We gotta get started somewhere.
you gotta start, somebody's gotta be first one to do that. You never gonna make everybody happy. You can't.
5 sections, a 5-year plan.
People for that know what session is falling in, what do you think?
Oh, if I was gonna ask to start, I definitely don't wanna start on 3. Because that'll be a lot of undertaking right through there. Nobody's running that machine. That machine's not been out of the barn in 8 years, 9 years.
I've been a long time. I
It'll
don't,
start. I can't make it move, but it'll start.
sometimes.
So, I mean,
That
there's
street
still a
turn.
lot, there's still a lot to be decided on whether we even have a
See?
paver.
Yeah.
We've got a guy that'll come help us,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
I would rather not start there. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me other than, that's the only thing I ask. Don't put me downtown to start. Let me figure it out somewhere where it's not gonna be.
You got plenty of streets, you got plenty of streets. to start on.
Let me figure it out where somebody's by everybody.
Nobody use house across the front, stuff right there.
Mine don't need done by any means. I mean, it's rock road now anyway. So, I mean,
Start with there, yeah.
It's, go for the worst roads and go for whatever you think. I mean, it's,
Again, you guys just kind of look at your map and stuff and.
I just wonder if it'd be, if you want to do quadrants maybe, instead of just kind of the quarters.
Well, you need to get something figured out where you can remember which one you done. When
Right.
you get down to them, then you can start
We
all
cut it,
over again.
we cut it north and south, and that leaves some pretty big sections, and I don't think you'll ever have enough money to do that big of a section. Even if, like Steve said, even if you can get to where you can put $60,000-$70,000 in there, it's not you're gonna have a lot of material involved, but we don't have trucks we're gonna be paying local people to come truck our asphalt to us, if we can make our machine go. We're gonna be paying trucking fees to even make this happen and stuff, so I mean,
Some of it.
the money will go quick. We can't haul enough asphalt to a machine with 2 little bitty trucks. And the rest of the year, we don't have enough use for a tandem. They just have one set.
There's the other old.
We have that one old tandem down there, but it's not really a tandem, it's a tag.
But not really a truck either, but it's, yeah, but it's, does it even run anymore?
Yeah, it ran when I first started there. We used it one snow to get the cinders off of it. Mike did, because it's dangerous. He said he didn't want anybody else in it that hadn't been around it.
It's,
because it was dangerous.
It's not good.
And got it off of there and we parked it outside and put a truck that we were actually using inside.
Yeah.
So
I know we're pretty low on trucks. It's not good, but okay.
So other than that, I mean, I really don't have anything else for you guys. If you got any questions I can answer, I'd be more than happy to do my best.
That's good. I do appreciate you guys getting out and cleaning the streets. It's kind of short notice because I didn't realize Relay for Life was that quick, and he got up on us. I called Bill and he got right up there and they get the streets swept and cleaned the gutters out for me and stuff. So I do appreciate that.
Did Jason pass the CDL?
Yes.
I never did hear it.
Another good compliment about the people in town. You guys doing a good job. All your employees are doing a good job.
That's all I hear.
Joe, did you have a chance to look at that water line on Campbell? Was it Campbell and Clay that where the new water lines? There's a fire hydrant. It's got that PVC pipe in front of it. It's cut down.
No, I guess I haven't. I didn't remember us talking about it. I will.
Was that north or south, Campbell?
Just down the road from you.
Yeah,
a
just
block
down
to
from
the
here.
south.
Yeah.
There's a PVC pipe that's coming straight up out the ground. It's in
Probably
front of the
shut
fire
off
hydrant.
valve.
I don't think we can.
It's probably for the valve.
Fire hose up to it.
Oh, it's too close to the hydrant. Okay.
It just needs to cut off.
Just needs to cut off from the cap on it. That can be handled.
I didn't know if like the sewer cleanouts, the ones that stick up out of the ground, I know they're individuals that's in the yards, but now if they were broke off, doesn't the stuff just fall down in the sewer and stuff?
No, yeah, the rain and water and anything else.
Okay, right across from Renee's, they hit that with a lawnmower and busted it off.
She called us here and we went and looked at it.
I seen about
And,
that.
I mean, she's gonna have to fix it.
Yeah, that's her, there are more
They
people
need,
that
yeah,
done
they,
that,
they
but
slid over top of it.
yeah, and so.
They just need
yeah.
to cut it off and put a cap over it.
Yeah, that's what I, if it's mine, I'd
Even if
put it
that's
down,
digging around.
basically grab levels for
Yeah.
people to go over them if it's mine, but I did notice that was, yeah, so. I think they,
Yeah, they called to know what they hit.
yeah,
So,
some people
looked at it and
they probably did, but it just happens, you know, because they stick up, there's some of them sticking up pretty high and stuff, but I just noticed that one, you know, coming by, so.
Another question on like sewer, like when they're tearing this building down, do they cap them, the sewers off on them?
Careful. This one over here, when he gets done and cleaned out, he can call me and we will decide what the best route we want to do. Whether he digs it and caps it or we cap it with concrete or what we do. But he's to call me as soon as it's cleaned in at that point. That was the agreement we had when he first started.
I was just thinking, I would just, yeah, like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, no, yeah, it'll be capped.
Lands are parked in as far as painting and stuff?
That's parked down here, yeah, there's still a little bit of park, a little bit of painting left to do. But we're about spent. We don't have a big budget for the park. And we're about probably below all the money that we had set aside for it, so I mean, I don't have a problem doing more projects down there and, but we just need to make sure we don't run ourselves for our money. I don't want to sitting here answering for overspending somewhere.
Yeah, it's easy.
But yes, there's some more paint, some finish up. I don't know. The equipment is almost all painted. She's gonna paint the merry-go-round. And then the
Basketball
equipment.
goals, do we wanna do anything on those, or do we wanna?
Yeah.
I need it.
Mhm.
The basketball backboards.
I
No, those were,
Take them down, paint them, whatever you wanna do. I mean,
I suppose, whatever.
or do we wait until after this
Yeah,
season and paint them this winter in the shop?
yeah.
That'd be something you can lay out on salt
like I
works
say,
and paint
you
the
get
shop.
around somewhere and find some, yeah, they look pretty.
Yeah,
pretty rough.
they do look rough.
You know, I don't know where the person would, I mean, even when they're up like that, I mean, you know.
The person can get up there and wire brush them and just
Well,
spray paint them.
that's what I mean, if you could just, just can of.
But you're still not gonna have any lines or nothing on them. You're not gonna get them.
I don't think they care so much about that, it's just that they look pretty rough like that, you know, and stuff. I don't know, like I say, I've been gonna kind of watch around, a person might pick up the new one somewhere from school or
I don't
something for a
think
little or nothing, just,
I don't think they're hurting anyway. They
Yeah.
just need taken down and clean. And we had talked about before. And taking them down and having them sandblasted even. And just having them ready to go.
but they do in the summer, like I said, they get a lot of use out of the kids, give them something to do, and they.
And like Deb said earlier, so
Yeah.
far, so far, so
Yeah.
good with the maintenance. So I had one time
Yeah,
that the stool was run full of toilet paper.
oh, yeah, but
But
like I said, we
we have to deal with that with any
Yeah,
part.
we can eliminate maybe, if we have a problem with that, we'll just start locking it at nights and put chains on the little gates, and used to always lock it all the time, done it for years. And like I said, every morning, just one of you guys, whatever, you open it at 7:30, they can be right down there. For that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
But other than that,
Weekend too.
yeah,
you just got a couple pieces of trash blowing around already, you know, but that's life. That's part of dealing with it.
So,
I've been impressed so far. Everybody's really treating it with respect so far. We'll see what happens when school gets on.
you're gonna have problems, that's all in the courthouse, let's start locking them at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some estimates on that lighting.
Just don't-
Okay, yeah, well, I'll look into the lighting deal and I'll get with, once I have some numbers, I'll get with Steve and he can call you guys and share if you guys are, or I can, I don't care however you want to handle it. You guys will have to get
Well, you
together
gotta
to
have something
approve
to
it.
start with, you know.
You all,
That's what we're
yeah,
looking at.
exactly. You all will have to get together to approve the money we spent anyway.
Yeah.
If I can get a number for you, you guys can make the decision. That's your go.
Perfect.
I just
Thank
did
you.
the work.
All right, let's go.
Yes.
Down there, sewer plant, I think those hoses need to be rolled up, put up, they've been out forever and ever.
Okay, I'll bring it up. I'll mention it. We'll get it. Take care. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey.
What?
Big thing. Anyway, I thought I'd add, since the park's kind of been the theme for tonight. About a year ago, I attended a meeting down at the health department, and it was with a gal that done a survey with a school kid. And the number one complaint of the school kid was the disrepair of the basketball court down here. No other, I mean, lack of stuff to do, but the number one complaint was the basketball court. Anyway, I'll put that out there. Anyway, any questions? Where you want to start? The bank building. I talked to John Shaw, I talked to him today. And I talked to him before. Asa and Yodi. They come with, they think they can fix it.
She said that she wanted to get a contractor to look at the building by the bank, because she thinks that it can be saved and fixed. And they want to spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to fix it. I guess let them.
They're exploring getting a hold of a contractor, trying
She
to
told me to. So
get somebody to do something, so that's where that is.
I think they said they agreed that they wanted to take down the Hatfield building and the other 3-story building, the way I got it. Did you get that from
Yeah,
Brian?
but the old bank building,
The one,
that,
yeah, the old bank
the
building.
one
is
that we
across
got,
from the Citizens Bank.
the one,
But there's another 3-story building there by the one that tore down.
yeah,
And
the Harvey building.
Yeah, the way I got, they said, yeah, they're planning on trying to take
Yeah.
those down.
But I mean, we got
Yeah.
the street, cause I told them, I was like, we've got the street blocked off, we
Right.
can't just
But
keep the
that's the
street
one that
blocked.
she wants to
you know.
bring a
We're gonna have to
contractor
do
in.
something.
And they
Try
think
to
they
tear
can fix
that
it.
corner out and that back and try to re-block it.
So,
We'll see.
I mean,
Um,
it's their money spent. If they wanna try to save it, well,
one of the other things, I was contacted by Crystal Carhall about the need for stop signs, and I know we went through this in the old business.
There's already a stop sign there, isn't there?
There's stop signs going north and south on 4th Street. No signs on Church Street.
but it's only a half a block and a half. I mean, it's.
There's not that many people that live on down.
No, there's no.
She said there's kind of a concentration of kids down there and a lot of traffic, so
I mean,
you guys might take a look and we'll see what.
but Church Street, but 2 blocks long. If it's a block inside it, but I mean, even a block on one side.
Right.
But I mean, I think we're maybe having trouble, you know, with the current stop signs. I don't know if you wanna go the, you know, the speed bumps down there
Oh.
on 4th.
I'll have a lot of claims.
It's like on 4th Street.
At the stop sign.
That'd be-
Yeah, because nobody stops at the stop sign? Okay.
Whatever you guys wanna do, if you wanna go around and look down there, then we'll get back next month, see what you guys think about yield signs, stop signs, or.
I still think that's kind of your judgment to a certain extent. You're the one that's, you know, safety and stuff. I mean, see what you think.
I mean, she did mention there is kind of a concentration of kids in that neighborhood. Her kids, I think, where Dr. Brian lives, and there's some kids there.
Right.
And Kitchen, Kurt's kid, they kind of all run that neighborhood, so.
I just don't see how people could speed very much on
Yep.
Church.
Sure, that's what I mean.
But I think 4th Street,
Because it's a dead end.
I think 4th Street is having some trouble.
Can't get much.
You know, we've been over the stop sign, you know, when you're sitting down there watching it, you know, everybody stops.
But it's hard, you know, if they're gonna run them stop signs, it won't do no good, but the other do that.
Do we still have the speed bump?
Yeah, I think so.
I know the speed bump is a sour subject.
You got more problem over on North Street, going to the ballpark, is somewhere you'll ever have right there.
Yeah.
Cause they fly down, I've lived there for 20 years. I mean, cause from the Knights of Columbus Hall straight through, there's nothing. There to get to Vernon Zucco's a yield, I mean, and they scream out there.
But, I mean,
That's a narrow road, there's a lot of kids walk on that.
I mean, my concern is, you know, we had somebody with some concerns contact me, you know, I think, you know, that we need to, you know, make an effort to do something, and, you know, 'cause if a kid, you know, happened to get, you know, hope it never happened.
I'm more concerned about what she was telling me about
The way,
well,
I can go.
rotting boards and.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard, first time I heard about it, was when you mentioned it, I mean, all I gotta do is go
That's
talk
never
to
been
them.
reported here.
That's the first one I heard.
And we address those, I mean, we have an
Yeah.
ordinance against that. We sent
Yes,
a letter,
I
but
feel her concern.
nobody ever told us.
But yeah, we need.
We think put speed bumps down there in a couple months. It'll hurt traffic.
Yeah, it does.
It does. They'll drive it through that block, they don't have to go around it.
Don't go to North Street there.
Yeah.
So we just wanna have a look and just revisit it next month, or do we wanna put the speed bumps in, or?
drastic, maybe, but no, it's no way to slow them down.
I think we all just need to drive
Just,
through
Yeah,
there.
just take a look at it and we'll revisit it next month.
So this has nothing to do with this, right?
What?
The kids running and
No.
stuff in the street. It's probably right there.
Yeah, that's the street.
Yeah.
That's it, right there.
Sent out a lot of letters on the junk ordinance, vehicle ordinance. Been making some phone calls, hanging door hangers on the one with tall grass.
That's a lot.
Huh?
How many's a lot?
We sent out, well, I mean, I sent there were some that was multiples. You know, they got both letters, junk and vehicle letters. I
Oh,
probably
yeah.
sent 10 altogether.
And then you said you've been doing door hangers.
Yeah, grass.
Grass.
And I've done some for vehicles and stuff too. I've done some door hangers
What's
for
the,
vehicles that I haven't sent letters to yet. So.
with the vehicles, how long do they have to have them moved? 40 days?
10 days.
10 days. And the trash, citywide cleanup, help?
Some, but not as much as I'd like. Some did take advantage of it, but not nearly enough. Any other questions? We did order, I did today order the yellow barrier tape. We just about out. I think I have one half roll, probably less than half ordered, 10 rolls. So you'll see that bill next month. And some uniform stuff.
our city limit sign is gone out here on 15.
Good.
It's got where it's slow down, but there's no city limit sign. It's gone. Or like out here, it says, city limits will be down in Buckeye, but it's gone off the post out here. I don't know whether. Somebody asked me about it. And I looked for that when I come back in town. And it is gone. So
The state provides it.
is that what I don't know where they come from? I'm presuming that I think it's on the state post, so I don't know whether
So I
I
never
took it off
know
or it
that.
fell off, or if I didn't stop and look. Somebody asked me about it, and I said, somebody wanted but it didn't there, so.
Just gave several safe rides home.
I see you got down there trash along the roadway.
That was up here on Second Street. The
Okay.
dog got into
Yeah.
trash bag.
That's something we need to address down the road as a council, is people putting them out 3 or 4 days before the trash truck. They're up to date out the trash truck. Like especially your apartment where you live. I mean, there's Hudson Grimer right there, that funeral stuff. That trash has been out there, it was set out there all weekend. And you're not doing it, but I, they need to keep it in their house. Don't put that out. Don't set out there for 3 or 4 days. That's
That's a conversation you should probably have with Patty.
I've
Right,
noticed
yeah,
it's
another
getting
place.
it's getting worse with the trash. Like people I probably shouldn't have dumped it, but I did. Like he's had all furniture in their dumpster, like 2 couches. Like at what point do we say this is okay? Like there's trash over on a corner on your side of town because it was raining and she put full tin cans of food in a box and put a sticker on the box. At what point is it like, can you please just put your stuff in a bag? Or like I don't really know what we're supposed to do. I know that I've been told that if the cats get into it, you pick up the bag. If it's multiple times, but there's times that we pick it all up because it's our town and that's
well, what we
not
get into
good.
is, see, if you, like I said, if people putting it out like that and sat out there all weekend, well, eventually something got into it.
Oh, yeah.
Across the Hudson Rivers, and then finally there was trash here, and that happens all the time there. There's only just 2 or 3 around town that does it really, really bad, and it's just, we need to address that.
But there's several others in
I'm
town.
not sure it matters, the funeral home, and then there's bags of trash sitting out there, I wouldn't want to turn out front of my house, pour up, blowing everywhere, and it's the same It's the same people if you drive around, it's the same, Debbie knows about that, it's the same one. They put it out, they run that, they put it up next day for Thursday, like I say, they put that out. It was there all weekend, except on Monday, and it was 3 or 4 bags and tore it up. That's just not a good.
They're gonna put it out that early, they need to go buy a can.
Cause they're just trying to start blowing all over, that ain't their job to run around and case paper. Or to blow down the trash bag, if they'd have kept it in the house or in the trash can, they wouldn't have done that, So, I think we need to kind of, somewhere along the line, address that to where we'll, start putting maybe something in the paper or something, or we can put an ad in the paper to, please don't put your trash out, day before, and then if it,
I'll put it in
we'll give them a
trash
couple
can with a lid or something.
We'll give them a couple of warnings, and then after that, we'll
There's a certain Anthony scene, but Hawkins is last time. Investigators
same one,
person had a phone and still working on trying to figure that out.
What's wrong with people?
You tell me, I don't put near what I need to in here.
So,
Anything else?
I don't have anything for you. You good job.
Anything? No requests for anything?
I think Ryan and I talked to just something maybe a little bit in the future is maybe thinking about, we got 2 gas hogs.
Yeah.
Maybe getting a car, replace one of the trucks to drive in good weather and stuff.
Eventually, we're gonna have to go to that. But I mean, because the truck's getting made on, and we'll probably need to get rid of it while it's still working.
It just, boy,
Maybe not a lot.
they're pretty rough on gas, just coming around town. Cars have to make a huge difference on gas bills and stuff, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, and there's only just a handful of times that you need a 4-wheel drive
Yeah.
pickup.
And like I
If
said,
we have one, the other guys.
they need to go pick up a dog or do something,
Yeah.
come up there and get it, But it's something that,
But I think something we need to, I don't know if you want me to get some bids and.
well, you can just see what's,
Kind of,
well, the thing about it, the truck is worth what a car is. Because it's still worth a lot of money. That truck's still worth a lot of money for a truck still brings a lot of money. There is options. I seen some today. I was looking. There is options of there's state roll cars down there. If you can get 50,000 miles on
if you want to go,
$9,000.
if you want to go a used route, to go through the patrol, you get a vehicle.
Yeah, you can buy them worth the money. The truck will bring more than that.
Yeah.
Bring more than that and just sell it, and stuff. So it's just something you can get 20 miles a gallon driving around instead of getting 8 or 9 or 10. That's
My idea, I mean, I was gonna ask you, do you guys want me to try to get, get some prices on new and like I said, through the patrol?
Something to look at because
It's also been mentioned over the years numerous times, that we only need one vehicle instead of 2.
Right.
Once upon a time, we got a second one just for the heck of it, and now we always have 2.
Now we have
We
2.
got twice as much insurance, twice as much.
It's extra insurance, it's extra expense, it's everything, so it can be an option to maybe just get rid of one. Maybe just sell one, not get a car or something, just not go that option too. It's just something we can explore a little bit. It makes cuts everywhere. When you
Yeah, get rid of it before it gets junk, low mileage, you can still get some money back out of it. Instead of wear it completely out, you can get that.
But, just.
No, I mean, like we have the majority, I mean, I don't know if the light bar we have in the truck will fit in the car, because it's, it's an inside, above the dash. I mean, it fits, but other than just putting the graphic on the side.
Just have one, you save on, let's say, save on insurance and save wear and tear onto it, so.
So what's miles on your truck?
Mine's 17,000.
17,000?
Yeah. The blue one is what?
I don't know
what year it is.
What year?
You have to look it up.
I'll bet 12.
It's like 3 years before.
10, 12, something like that.
Right.
I was gonna say
You're
2.
16.
Yeah, the gray one's a 16, isn't it? Yeah. Just so.
I don't know what Mike's little Jeep that he drives around too, how much longer that lasts.
Yeah.
I drove it a lot of years around town.
Yeah.
We've already kind of talked about the Jeep deal. I mean,
That was a
We've kind of-
really reliable vehicle.
we're working on something with the Jeep.
It was really reliable, barely had anything ever wrong with it when we had it for the police department.
only need one pickup, I mean, that even make more sense just to sell one. See if we can get by.
Yeah.
To me.
But something we can look at, get figures, we'll look around maybe next month, we'll put it on the end and see what we want to do, maybe somewhere in there.
Sounds good. I'll have something next month.
Right, thank you. Okay, any unfinished business? Anybody have anything on unfinished? Any unfinished business now, anybody? I got 3 or 4 things on new business here. Just jotted down different things. One, Martin Edwards had come to me and they had found they wanted to get a different pumper truck. And they found one, but then that fell through. It got sold before they could do anything with it. But he was wondering if there was any funding, through the city to help pay for one. I talked to Peggy about it. Peggy said, in all her years of being here, she said they've asked for very, very, very little. I mean, the fire department has not asked for a lot, so she said, she didn't see a big problem with it, but I told Martin I'd just bring it up, and so it's just, it's out there. They haven't found another one or nothing, but, this one, they'd already went to the bank and everything, they was going to get the money and raise, have their fish fries and stuff to pay for it and everything. But it was something that he did want me to bring up at the meeting and say, is it something that we, and I said, well, what he had given me for a figure was $9,000 because it was $18,000 for what it was going to cost. And he said, I said, well, what are you looking at? He said, well, maybe you could pay for half of it, I said, I don't know. I said, I'll bring it up and stuff. I said, it might be a situation that if they did find one or something, I said, maybe we could go half that now or something, and then this fall see how we are, and maybe help them out a little bit later. But anyway, it's just something that's just in the future, that you can think about putting in the back of your mind, and something that we can,
Is there something wrong with the truck?
They don't have a big. They want a bigger tanker. A tanker, just a pumper truck full of water. Because now if they go to a house fire, if there's no ponds, there's nothing there. So we're out of water in a matter of, 15 minutes. Yeah, it don't take long, so we're out. So he said even here in town, it can make a difference.
We do have a tanker.
But it doesn't pump or something?
No,
What's the deal?
Right.
they just call them pumper trucks. It's all it does is hold water. It just,
Yeah,
it
that's
just,
what it.
it's just, I forget how many gallons he told me to tell. He showed me a picture of it, the one they had found. But it was in New York, is where it was. And he said the time they would have got a truck here, he said they wanted 18. He felt they'd get about 15 and 3 to ship it. And they said they thought maybe they could end up with 18 in it, but then it got sold or something. He said it fell through and stuff. But he said it just, they don't have much. The one they have, I don't think is very big. Or Rick is more, but he owned it. So, but that's what, you can explain it more, but that's what they're wanting, more, what he's talking about.
Where would we take the funding? Where would we take the funding out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Where would we take the funding?
Well, it would just be out of our, Peggy said we have the general revenue over here that can be used for, that's what they bought the tractor out of that fund there in the general, what is it? Reserve funds over here. They have that. That's what they bought the tractor out of. But you can buy, that's what we can buy more material out of. If we find material for a good buy, we can put it in the street. You can usually literally use that money for anything. The way Peggy was explaining it to me, it can be used for any, and it has, a very considerable amount of money in it. But yet you don't want it. Definitely by no means wants to drain it out. By no means, But that is where that money would come from. She can, amend the budget and take that out of that account. But that's just something down the road. If they find one, they'd already had the money approved to the banks that we're going to go ahead and buy it anyway. But if it's something that you can't help us out on, it'd be something we'd have to put in and vote on it, whatever. But it's just something in the back of your mind that you can know that it's there.
Is it to replace the white? The white?
Yeah, they're just wanting to get rid of that.
And it's just a matter of time before somebody gets hurt in that.
He said it just wore out or something. He said it just doesn't have.
So what's your opinion, Rick?
Well, I don't know. I drove it down Novelty the other night.
Oh, you made it.
Made it all right.
Yeah, he said it's just pretty well shot. He said as far as, he said around real close, but he said it was pretty well. But anyway, so that's where we're at on that. So the golf cart, they had that on that. Over here, Roger Pardon's. Sidewalk over here. It's really, really bad over here. I don't know what our ordinance sure is on sidewalk.
Insurance.
Oh, Diane.
Diane's,
Yeah.
it's in front of the extension office, in front of Diane's insurance, in front of Noonan's. It is the worst around the whole square. It's really, really bad. It's got places sticks up high. It's sloped in, it's running water. Every time it rains, the water runs in, like the Diane's and Roger, it runs in there and soaks down there. So they, was wondering what we can do on sidewalks or things like that. Robert Ward was over there at 6 o'clock. He met Roger was there and I was there and stuff. And he looked at it. It just, I don't know where the guidelines is on sidewalks with the city. Mark and I talked about this a little bit the other day. It is basically our sidewalk, but
The property owners, their thing too.
They're kind of a responsibility, but yet the gutters, the street's been built up so high that the street's that much higher than the gutter. If you look across the road next to the courthouse, Robert said he'd done that. And he said that was the gutter, basically just, they went 10 inches and then that was the gutter. They've done away kind of with the gutter. It doesn't really look like a gutter anymore. The water runs along there fine and everything. But if we tear it out, if we go up and tear basically all the concrete out and do the labor tearing it out, he said would probably be between $5,000 and $6,000. Now that's 11 foot wide and 80 feet long. And then that would be 90 feet, 6 feet wide. You go to the street, which there's no sidewalk there whatsoever. It's just completely covered up with grass and everything else. So that is
I was gonna say, there's a place in front of the Settle that I twist my ankle.
Well, like I say, there are places.
It's not
Oh,
just
the clothes
there.
closet has, I worry most about the clothes closet because there's so many old
You
people.
look at this over here that we've got a business and every building's got a business on it. And we want to keep all the businesses we can, if anything, in any shape. So, I did talk to John Bodie. He said, let us know, maybe we can help. He said, give us a bid, I don't know whether they will on something like that. County said they've been to this extension office, they will throw in, and Roger's gonna throw in, I don't know, it just.
I thought the extension office was trying to move. That's not true?
No, it's not. No.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Something about the roof or something.
Steve, is prevailing wage, will that come into effect?
It isn't if it's a certain amount of money.
So you're talking 5,000-6,000, I think it's gonna be.
Well, it depends on how much we pay.
Oh, the
See-
city pays.
See, if they pay, they throw in, county throws in, if they throw in, don't hold me to this, I think it's either 5,200 or 6,200, somewhere around
I
that.
knew it's up in
If
there,
it's
that's what
over
they
that
pay.
amount, then you have to pay prevailing wage, but if it's up to that, it's $4,000, something like that. Prevailing wage, you don't have to pay. The county doesn't have to pay, so the city won't either. Because they done work up here at the county court, and it was like $4600 or $700, and you don't have to pay. If it's if it stays under that, So that's something that's, another one that's, that's.
So is there any way to?
Don't have to put the sidewalk all the way down, maybe this hitch and just keep it in front of the buildings. Or if you want to look at it, just kind of like that, you go over and look at it and, like you say, I can see why Roger and them, they bought that for an insurance building. And now it back by the building, it's settled down in the water hole. It just runs, it goes in there. And
How you gonna do it where the street don't run into it? You're gonna have to take that down somehow.
Yeah. just through the years built the street up, but the sidewalk settled next to the building, see, and there's still enough, they could raise the sidewalk, get about 2 inches. That you can go up, an inch, half, 2 inches, go up on that building. And then if that's enough fall, you'll have, the water runs downhill, and it'll come out, you know. But it's not a lot, but there is fall there and stuff, but you know, it just, you want to look at it, you want to look at it and stuff. I told him, I said, you know, again, I know I'll just bring it up at the meeting, that's all I can do. You know, I don't know, you know, it's the worst basically around the square and everything else, and you know, it just stuff like that's expensive to do, but that would be, he'd be putting it all in, that's all the concrete and everything, you know, but then that's, you know, that would just kind of what a figure he threw it out there, you know, here it is, so that's something else that, you know, I don't know, you know, where we're at on that, what, you know, but it's something to think about on that too. So
look at it, check it out.
Anybody got, that's about all I know about it. So I just didn't see him until 6 o'clock tonight. So I mean, he was supposed to show up last week and stuff, but he didn't. So, but
that would just be from
The extension.
the extension office, in front of the extension office.
well, it'd be going down to Cardwell's. The sidewalk there all starts. It's a different. This is the old sidewalk, but this still got parking meters. There's still got parking meter poles where they cut them off. So that's original sidewalk. If you start in front of Les Cardwell's, it's all been new. And then down Lucky's, that's all been new. I don't know when that was put in front of, but I'd say Doc.
So you're talking.
Doc put that in when that was there and stuff. I mean, it doesn't have parking meters in it. It's a newer, this is original because where they cut the parking meters, still steel. Parking meters posts are still there and stuff. So, but the curb, it'd be hard to build a curb up because the street's so high there. The streets, it's just so many years of putting that just, it catches the water, you know.
On the west side there.
It's on the east side. No, the west side, not a problem. So there's no curb because that's what they done. They said that's, well, but they said that's 10 inches thick. That's what that is. The hole that somebody drove on it. I mean, Robert said that's 10 inches deep if you wanted to get down there. He said he built that over there too. And he said that they just done away with the curb on that side. And he said, away because you just put 4 inches, that's why it pulls up on it. You'll snap it so bad. But he said it's 10 inches on the edge and that way. And then the curb, it just basically the asphalt there's with the water. And then, you know, they put it up, and it's up that high and the water just, it all runs over there, runs down to the grate where it's supposed to. But, you know, that's. Yeah, because the old gutters, the curbs are broke out. Joe's seen them up there, they're just broke out, you know, and I mean, you can see curb, you can't see curb, and it's just, of course, it's supposed to be beveled down through there, and it's not, you know, anymore. So it's just been broke out for many years, and so old. A lot of water being there, yeah, but it's just what, you know, the street crowns and it runs over there, you know, so it's something that, again, like I said, something to think about. So,
yeah,
you know,
and how do you choose, I guess, who you help out and stuff like that? If it's
do what now?
How do you choose, I guess, who you're gonna help?
Well, I just look at what's the worst. You know, that's the worst around the square. Next year, we hope that, it's kind of like a street deal.
But if somebody's
Have you been over by our office?
Right.
Our office, y'all want to look over there.
They'll put in some money.
You looked at the sidewalk at our office?
That's where I twist my ankle a lot, somewhere along there, because I walk at night.
I don't know. And it just, but it's kind of like the streets, you know, if you start that, we're not gonna make everybody happy. You're gonna start somewhere. And so, you know, you do what you can do and try to, you know, I know we're trying to, the nutrition site, there's a bad place or two, maybe next year or something, we can, you know, we can work over there and put something in, you know, it just gotta take a little at a time, you know. But I just look at what's the worst over there, and like I said, we got businesses over there, well, that's, so.
The county did the west side of the square. Did we do anything with that, or was that all?
Did guys help, or did we put money into it?
I think at one time they talked about.
We need another sidewalk grant. Remember that one that we had at my house?
Well,
I did.
the labor's a big part of it. Of course,
times, we've talked about
That would be
needing a
good.
sidewalk
Yeah.
program for
Oh,
town in
yeah.
general, like, the city would do the labor,
Yeah.
if the property owner would pay for the materials.
Yeah.
Uh,
So figured,
Never
they're figuring
done it.
20 yards of concrete. I think that's what he figured. But that was doing it all, doing the sidewalk and everything, you know. So you could leave the sidewalk off this, you know, if you done something, you know, you could leave that off, I would say. Because that's 90 feet by 6, that's quite a bit. You know, you cut it down considerably, only cut it down to 15 yards anyway. You know, and not as much labor on his part and stuff too, so.
You're talking the sidewalk on the south.
Yeah, go correct. It's, you know, it's awful. You take somebody walking and they walk out the street because you can't even walk down it. It's just, I mean, it's there, but it's covered up and busted. And of course, used to be an old building there that tore down. That's why it's so wide. We narrow it down half what it is, you know. It don't need to be that wide all the way out there. But that's, you know, something to, you know.
Think about.
I don't know where we're at on it, you know, like I said, I don't know, it's a fine one. Pass on that down. This is something that I have been, this is just a work on it. Just, I've been, if you want to read it there, it's just a suggestion. But every place that I've talked to, I think I've trashed once they pick up once a week. We're the only town. I've called, anywhere you want to go, but nobody picks up trash twice. There's no other town I can find anywhere.
But it's great.
Huh?
But it's great.
It is to a certain extent, but it's also a wear and tear on our streets. But I just been talking to Bering over there because Kelly's up at the courthouse stuff, and just in conversation, we got talking one day. And if you look at it there, if you go to once a day, Joe and I talked it over and stuff too. And then you took your second day and you went to Bering, and I come in, and it saves them money as far as Bering too, because I want to see us try to help the other kids if we can and help us. But they've got 45 houses basically in town, and figured at $37.50 a house, we pay 32. That's for 16 bags. And they got 4 businesses, and that's higher price, $95. That's higher than what you had told me on the dumpsters and senior housing. And you see that over there's $21.75. I just estimated the trash of a third of what we pick up in Edina. I don't think it'll be that much in Bering. But that's what it costs to dump. That's $61 a ton. That's what you would make at $15.67 a month. And if you added 8 dumpsters, which we have room to pick up, you pick up Bering Lake, pick up others. There's other dumpsters over there, or pick them up, because we're missing the boat by not picking up and having dumpsters out there, because they are, like Peggy told me. Peggy said, the trash truck used to struggle until it went to dumpsters, and then it turned things around because they're making me money. If you want to figure it all down, clear at the bottom right there, you figure it in 12 months. And the only thing you can figure is your 2.5 ton, your 3 ton extra. You don't figure because your man hours, you would use them in Edina anyway. And you'd use the fuel in Edina.
We won't have to have an extra trip, would we?
No, he won't take an extra trip. We'll hold it easy.
So
Because he picks up about 7 tons. We've been watching.
Would Edina customers get a break because we're only getting 1 pickup? Would our trash
It's changed.
trash pickup
People get used to it.
bill get cut in
I
half?
remember 2 years ago when we started picking it up by noon. It took them a couple of weeks till they got used to it.
Oh, right.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would need to check though with the city attorney and make sure we can go in the trash business to pick up trash in
That has-
other places.
It's no different than taking a dumpster out, because I checked it. It's no different than taking a dumpster out to somebody's farm and stuff.
Using the city's truck all the time to.
It's making the city, it's no different than making a dumpster out. So, line is, if you know.
Like that.
Huh?
If it works like that, that's.
Because the only thing you're gonna pay for
We
is
use that money
that
for
extra
streets,
trash.
so
You
we
take to the dump, you get 3 or
On
4.
a thing like over at Bering,
I don't think so.
you might have to have, on 4th of July, you might have to take an extra dump on that, but
There's times that you do anyway. You
Gotta
know,
be
as far as
charged
saying
for it.
in busy times, but
yeah. But any other
But-
time,
We could buy 2 more trucks and we could pick up Newark. And
well, see, but if you start
I'm just saying, we talked about this before, and I thought the city attorney said, no, I mean, we talked about doing the streets in Knox City with our
Maybe you can.
blacktopping, and the city attorney said, I don't know, anyway.
Well,
We need
Well,
some
we
to
talked
check
to him,
into.
but ask with him,
Yeah.
see,
Some to check into.
see what he says, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know why, because it'd be no different than taking a dumpster outside city limits.
Well, then maybe we shouldn't take dumpsters outside the city limits, because that was his whole deal, was that it was, you know, taxpayers' money that we're buying the trucks with, we're paying insurance on the employees and the truck. And then if you're going in business, basically in competition with Veolia or Advanced or whoever that does the same thing. But anyway, maybe that's changed.
I don't know.
I mean,
Anybody make a little dollar.
He still
Big hell be
need,
done.
he still need to check with the lawyer before we get in trouble.
Which is something to check into.
Something to check
Who
into.
services
Yeah.
Barry?
Hmm?
I guess there's only one trash company. Who does Barry now?
Advanced disposal,
Advanced, yeah.
and they get it. Big time. But maybe you can't, but nobody, I was just talking to Tom the other day, he never said anything about it. I told him-
Well, he always said that before.
Well, maybe he misunderstood what I was talking
Check
about.
into it, and we'll talk about it next meeting.
I will check with him tomorrow.
Might have to hire another employee.
But it is, you know, I guess if legally you can't do it, you're able to do it, but it is, very much of a moneymaker.
Yes, looks like it.
But I don't have anything else on that.
Let's see, you have your,
And then. Oh, and then we're supposed to appoint
oh,
Boy.
yeah, the mayor.
a mayor pro tem.
Which would be Rick Hunter.
Alright.
So Mayor Pro Tem, of course, everybody knows that just somebody to conduct the meeting or do business in case Steve's not here. And we've done that last month, we had thought of it. And ordinarily, it's the senior alderman that's the Mayor Pro Tem. I think we should do it. So it's up to you to select somebody that you want to appoint, and then it's up to the board to vote
Whatever.
to confirm.
That's good, I don't care.
That's the case, the mayor's gone.
Yeah, to conduct the meeting.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
So ordinarily, it's the senior alderman.
That's all I read.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm voting red.
Very good. Yeah,
I'm voting right.
All second.
all in favor?
Wasn't that easy, huh?
Yeah.
Got me right.
Rick just said you can't miss a meeting though. He'll be sick on that day.
Well, they can't both be right, that's the point.
Okay, what's this, professional conference fund you put
So,
up? Is that,
I gave everybody some
I've
information.
attended it, I recommend that this is a new one, just look at, I mean, I'm sure last year, again, you learn a lot from, I mean, we talked about it before, we talked about budget, not spending money, we can't spend money, I mean, talked about the sunshine law, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Open meetings law, like, just there's a lot of rules, like you guys aren't allowed to discuss city business outside of a city council meeting is technically illegal. Stuff like that. They just like go through like stuff that you would never know. You know what I mean? Just rules for the state rules for boards like city councils and
Yeah, so technically it would be Steve and David and Rick would be the new ones. And of course, anybody can go, and obviously, city pays for it.
They also do an online one. That you can sign up for online and just do it over the internet. Not this, but other things.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No, not this, but
Right.
I have seen teleconferences. But they're always when I'm at work, so I can't do those.
So, any other comments, I guess?
I have done.
You get one, that's it.
How long ago did it last?
You get one.
8 hours last.
Yeah.
You get two full days.
I got 2 kids in college, and really.
And then drink. Right.
Right.
They just always stay at the brewery too. This is a Holiday Inn, but it was within water.
Well, I think we're ready.
I'll take this in there.
I guess that we're done with it.
I didn't
Yeah,
say that.
close it only if they want to go.
We did do
They go lovely, but we don't do it.
Okay.
Then we get to go home.
This was a roll call.
Oh. Yeah, ready to go home, in other words. Sometime we'll have Aaron and one for Vic.
You still alive?
Yeah, you guys gonna do a roll call?
Vote.
You have a roll call.
Well, you did everything else.
Perfect. You want to do that?
I'll make a motion that we do.
Yes, and he does say, don't do it unless everybody's willing to do it. Okay, wait a minute, let's start.
I say.
So,
All in favor?
Rick Winter, now wait a minute, and who seconded it?
First,
He
second.
made the motion.
Yes, I
David. Okay, and then we have to have a roll call.
Roll call.
Yeah, call it in against
Todd.
Yes.
Okay. So then, after they all leave.
Bye.
I'll be right back.
They're only $3.50.